Oh, thank you, Ellen. And hey, everybody, welcome and greetings from sunny California today. I'm a Minnesota gal, but out here seeing my grandchildren, and this is the beauty of doing webinars virtually. We today are going to be talking about a topic that really is gaining quite a bit of notoriety. It's an important issue, and we're hearing changes that are occurring. For example, most recently, New York has ruled that you cannot discriminate against somebody based on their hair and their hairstyle. So with that, let's go forward. There's a bio, just gets into a little bit of what Ellen says. Let's look at the objectives for today. One, we're going to discuss why in the world would we even think that a dress code or an appearance code has any advantages to either an employer or an employee. We'll look at the legal issues that are surrounding dress and appearance. And as I said, those are getting more prevalent. We'll look at best practices for an organization's dress code. We'll look at both explicit and implicit bias, looking at dress codes. And I'm using dress code to really include not only dress, but appearance codes as well. So you can use either topic or either word. Appearance is a little bit more broad than dress. So first of all, hair. That's one of the issues we're going to want to discuss today. I mentioned a little bit makeup, also nails. Now, usually when we're looking at nails, we're thinking about it in terms of, are they too long? Are they dirty? But take a look at the nails on this person and look at how sharp and pointy they are. I mean, you'd think that it could be a weapon just by looking at it. Fragrance. Fragrance also is raising its head. And more people in the U.S. are complaining about having a physical sensitivity or a physical response to different fragrances. I'll be talking about that a little bit more. Hygiene. Now, with hygiene, you know, what we're hearing the complaints about is body odor. And that one's a hard one, isn't it? If you're in HR or you are in management, it's like, oh, you hate to be telling people that they smell. But the complaints about body odor are on the rise, particularly when we think about the emphasis of working out over your noon hour, for example. And different cultures have different tolerances on body odor. Sometimes that's based on religion. Sometimes it's just based on cultural issues. And so one of the things I want to mention today is that when you have a dress or appearance code, you'll have to consider, do you have locations in other countries? And if you do, then your dress and appearance code is going to have to be specific to that country. Here in the U.S., if you've got folks that have a different sense of hygiene based on cultural perspectives or their religion, when they are in the U.S., of course, they would need to rely on U.S. culture. And many cultures believe that we as Americans have sort of an absurd attitude towards cleanliness and hygiene. There's also the issue of jewelry. Now, jewelry is not too much of a problem. I'm not going to be getting into too much regarding jewelry unless it becomes a safety hazard or a hygiene hazard, because jewelry can, dirt and bacteria can accumulate in jewelry. Or if you're wearing jewelry that has any sort of a phrase or a word on it that could in fact be discriminatory or offensive to others. We've got the issue of facial hair, which we will be talking about, and even the material of employees' shoes. I want to say one other thing about fragrance. And there are many countries where fragrance is quite important. For example, the French, the Arabs, and the Italians. In their cultures, fragrance is important. I think, now I'm getting old, I'm a aging baby boomer, and I think back in my day, I used to wear cologne, perfume all the time, but I don't notice it quite as often anymore. And I'm a consultant now, but I go into other companies and I rarely smell any types of perfumes. I don't know if you do or not. Why should we even have a dress code or appearance code policy? Well, one of the things that it does is it really does set clear expectations as to what you, as the employer, as a manager, expect of your direct reports. It does protect the organization's image, and obviously it promotes a productive work environment. We'll talk about that a bit too. I already mentioned health and safety, and one of the other areas, and we're seeing an increase in claims on this, is discrimination and harassment. And what your dress code policy should do is it should outline specifically what sorts of attire and appearance is and is not permitted. That just makes it a lot easier for everybody to understand. Now, one of the things is you do, as an employer, have the right to establish a dress code. Now, you're going to want to give a rationale, but let's take a look at it. One of the things that your dress code does is it can legally set limits to self-expression. Now, as this particular slide shows, we're talking about things like tattoos and piercings, etc. But you do have to be a little bit flexible, and you do need to couch it under what would be related to the business and would promote your company's brand, your company's image, but at the same time is not denying the rights of your employees to a degree. And of course, as I mentioned before, you've got to make sure that it is addressing safety. All right, reasonable business purpose. Well, oftentimes what attorneys will say is that in your dress and appearance code, all you might really need to say is that you expect your employees to dress in a, quote, neat, clean, professional image. And some attorneys say that that in and of itself is a sufficient statement regarding policy. You do want to, for example, avoid a blanket ban on body art, because sometimes with body art, you might have to offer a reasonable accommodation. We'll speak a little bit more to that shortly. And you want to consistently apply it. So while we talk about a reasonable business purpose and neat, clean, professional image, and we talk about consistently applying your policy, let me give you a bit of an example. There was a case in Massachusetts where a company prohibited women, but not men, from displaying any kind of tattoos. Now, that is not consistent. It's also not reasonable. But what it is illegal discrimination. So you get the idea. One of the areas that comes up when I work with organizations is, hey, what exactly is business casual anyway? Well, you know what? That's going to vary based on your particular organization. Who am I to tell you what business casual means? And some will say that business casual is sort of a mixed blessing. Does it really add comfort and relaxation to your work environment? Or is it too confusing? Does it, in fact, increase morale and productivity? Well, some of the research says that's not entirely true. So what does business casual mean? And how do you dress business casual? Because we've never really been taught what does that mean. But what it means is up to you, up to your organization. One of the other areas that crops up is summer dress. Now, for some of you lucky people, you may live in a state where you might be able to dress in a summerly way, if you will, pretty much all 12 months of the year. I'm going to talk about those of us in Minnesota. We love summer because we really dress down. We are much more lenient in our dress in the summer. Now, that's generally speaking in Minnesota. Is that true for every northern state? I don't know. I don't live in other northern states. And is it even true for every organization? I'm just going to use Minnesota as an example. These are some of the things that you may want to address if, in fact, you are aware that people do become more casual every day of the week.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to watch this clip from one of our online meetings. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, stay up to date, and stay compliant. This video is brought to you by GRCTS. We are also known as GRC Training Solutions. And here's a quick information about us and what we do. We conduct many compliance and non-compliance training courses throughout the year, covering some of the most important areas within several industries. Our focus is to provide the best and the most up-to-date classes to our audience. All training modules are designed and facilitated by industry subject matter experts who possess years and years of experience and understand compliance very well. Our customers attend our online classes from all over the world. If you're not available to attend live meeting classes, you can always opt in to get unlimited access to our on-demand or recorded classes. We also provide in-person and face-to-face workshops, on-site workshops where our experts will visit your company at your location and train you and your colleagues, LMS trainings, and finally corporate subscription plans where you pay a little amount to enjoy unlimited access to our courses. We have monthly, quarterly, and annual subscription plans. Here's our contact information for you. If you're interested in learning in any of these topics, or if you know a colleague or a friend who might benefit from our classes, please contact us or visit our website for more information. It's www.grcts.com. You can always send us an email, support@grcts.com, or just give us a call, 248-233-2049.